Question number 1 says, describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle P onto triangle Q. First thing to do is have a look at your diagram and make sure you get the shapes the right way around. Starting from triangle P, moving on to triangle Q, it means we're moving from this one to this one. These shapes the same size, it's not been flipped over, therefore it's not an enlargement, it's not a reflection, it's not been turned around, so it's not a rotation. That leaves us with translation. And if you notice on your end of module question sheet, this is worth 3 marks. Sorry, this is worth 2 marks. Stating as a translation will get us 1 mark. We have to describe the translation to get the 2nd mark. The way we describe the translation is we say how far along the shape has moved, and we say how far up and down the shape has moved. Pick a point on the starting shape and count how many squares are long and how many squares down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares to the right and 1 square down. But we don't write the words 6 right, 1 down. We have to give that as a vector. A vector is a pair of numbers, kind of like a fraction but without the line in between. They're written in a pair of brackets where the number on the top is the horizontal movement and the number on the bottom is the vertical movement. Positive for right, negative for left on the top number, and positive for up and negative for down for the bottom number. And just have a look at your axes to remind you which way around they go. So to get the full 2 marks, 6 to the right, 1 down. There's our final answer. Question number 2. Again, describe fully the single transformation that maps shape P onto shape Q. Starting from here, moving on to shape Q. The shape has got bigger, so therefore this time we're dealing with an enlargement. 3 marks available for this question, so there's 2 more pieces of information that we need to provide. One is the scale factor, how many times bigger the shape has become, and the other is the centre of enlargement. Okay, if you have a look at triangle Q, count the squares along the base is 5 squares long, the original shape P is 2 squares long. So we need to work out what we multiply 2 by to turn it into 5, because that's how many times bigger this shape has become. Take the longer side, divide by the shorter side. 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, so this shape is 2.5 times bigger. And the scale factor is 2.5. Final thing we need to do is find the centre of enlargement. Right, can't find my ruler. The way we do it is we find the corresponding corners on the original shape and the enlarged shape, and we join them up like this. Those lines will all cross at one point if you do it accurately. The point at which they cross is here at the origin, 0, 0. That is your centre of enlargement. Centre 0, 0. Question number 3. Again, describe the single transformation, 3 marks, so 3 pieces of information to give. On this one the shape is turned round, so we have a rotation. We need to say how many degrees the shape is turned by. The shape is completely upside down, so therefore it's a 180 degree rotation. You might have to state in other questions whether the rotation is anti-clockwise or clockwise. That doesn't matter in this case, it doesn't make any difference. The final thing we need to give is the centre of rotation. Now, way to do this in the exam, stick your hand up and ask for a piece of tracing paper. Trace the shape you started with, shape A, pick a coordinate point, put your pencil on that point, spin your tracing paper however many degrees and in whatever direction the transformation is taking place, and have a look. has your triangle ended up in the right place? In this case it hasn't. So keep on trying different points until you find the point that completes your rotation. In this case, the rotation at the centre of rotation is 3,3. Question number 4. Reflect shape P and the line y equals x. You've got a diagonal mirror line, so what you want to do is spin your page round so the mirror line is straight in front of you like that, either horizontal or vertical, and then it's much easier to do. Take your shape one corner at a time, count the distance between the shape and the mirror line. From this corner to the mirror line is 2 diagonal squares, so go 2 diagonal squares in the opposite direction. Count your distance from this corner to the diagonal mirror line, half a square. There we go. And finally 1.5, so go 1.5 in the opposite direction. Finally, draw in your shape. And finally, for part B, describe the single transformation mapping triangle A onto triangle B. Be careful in this one, starting with A, moving on to B. We're not changing size, we're not flipping over, we're not turning round. It's a translation, and again, give the vector. It's 2 units to the left and 4 units down, so therefore the vector is -2, -4.